Good evening, I'm Peter, and tonight on Vietnam News, where East meets West, we're covering the stories making headlines across Vietnam and Southeast Asia. Welcome from our broadcast center in Ho Chi Minh City. A massive 227-kilogram bomb is uncovered during airport construction. We'll tell you where and how it was found. A Vietnamese-American pilot who flew solo around the world has died in a tragic crash. We look back at his inspiring story. And Ho Chi Minh City is cracking down on short-term rentals. What this could mean for Airbnb and expats alike. Plus, facial recognition is rolling out at the airport. We explore how foreigners are registering for VNeID, and Bruce Lee's former lover reveals new details from the night he died. And to top it all off, Vietnam's U23 team wins the ASEAN title again. Big stories, big moments, and it all starts now. Don't forget to like and subscribe.
If you've seen my recent Vietnam news episodes, you might think this is a repeated story. But no, it really happened again. It's time at a new airport terminal under construction at the Dong Hoi Airport. A massive 227 kilograms bomb was recently unearthed during construction work at an airport in Vietnam. Here's what we know. On July 29th, while workers were drilling piles for Terminal 2 at Dong Hoi Airport in the Quang Tra province, they hit something hard. Very hard. So hard that it stopped their drilling machine. Upon further inspection, they realized they had hit a massive bomb buried 5 meters underground. Work was stopped instantly. The site was secured, and the authorities were notified. By the next morning, a bomb disposal team from Peace Vietnam Quang, in coordination with the Quang Tro Military Command, arrived on site. After nearly 2 hours of carefully digging and removing soil around the device, the technicians finally got the bomb out. It was then transported to a nearby explosive storage facility for safe disposal. According to the bomb disposal experts, the device measured roughly 1.5 meters long, and its fuse was still intact, which could pose a serious hazard if accidentally triggered. The bomb disposal operation was carried out successfully without incident. But this raises an important question. Why was such a large bomb left behind here? Well, during the Vietnam War, Quang Tro was the most heavily bombed area in the country. Approximately 83% of its land remains contaminated by unexploded ordnance. According to official statistics released by the Vietnamese Ministry of National Defense in 2021, across Vietnam, more than 800,000 tons of UXO remain buried under an estimated 6.6 million hectares of land. This discovery underlines an ongoing tension between Vietnam's post-war recovery and its urgent development goals. While infrastructure like airports drives modernization, the threat of wartime bombs still lies beneath the surface. Each clearance operation, especially in Quang Tra, saves lives and enables progress. But experts warn it may take centuries to clear all the UXOs. So what will happen to the bomb now? The bomb will be transported to a specialized facility for safe disposal. The disposal process will involve a controlled detonation, which will be conducted by experts in the field. The safety of the disposal operation is of utmost importance, and a number of precautions will be taken to ensure the safety of the surrounding area. If you find what you believe to be a buried bomb or other unexploded ordnance UXO in Vietnam, the most important thing is to prioritize your safety and the safety of others. Here's what you should do. Do not touch or move the object. This is the most crucial step. Unexploded ordnance is extremely dangerous and can detonate with the slightest movement. Even if it looks old or harmless, it is not. Keep a safe distance. Move away from the object and make sure others do the same. UXO can be volatile, so maintaining a safe perimeter is essential. Report the discovery immediately. You need to contact the proper authorities. The best course of action is to contact Provincial Mine Action Coordination Authorities or the local military command. Several international and local NGOs, such as the Mines Advisory Group, MAG, and Project Renew, also work in collaboration with the Vietnamese government to clear UXO and may have a reporting hotline. These organizations are specifically trained to handle and dispose of these dangerous items. Warn others. If you are in a public area, make sure to warn anyone else nearby to stay away from the location. Unexploded ordnance is a serious and ongoing problem in Vietnam. and professional clearance teams are the only ones equipped to handle it safely. Our next story, tragedy has struck the global aviation community. A trailblazing Vietnamese-American pilot who once flew solo around the world has died in a heartbreaking crash shortly after takeoff in Indiana. Her story was one of ambition, inspiration, and relentless courage. Today, we remember Anh Tho Nguyen. On the morning of July 30th, 2025, Anh Tho Nguyen departed from Indy South Greenwood Airport in Greenwood, Indiana. She had just completed the first leg of her new global solo flight. She'd flown from Oshkosh, Wisconsin to Indiana. Moments before the crash, she posted a video. "I'm super excited. This is more than just a flight. It's a mission to inspire the next generation of Asian female pilots and aerospace engineers and STEM professionals." Before takeoff, she told her followers, "Wish me luck. Thank you, and I will see you in Pennsylvania. Let's keep flying forward together." But she never made it to Pennsylvania. Shortly after takeoff, her plane spiraled and fell behind a Circle K gas station near Main Street. No one on the ground was injured. Nguyen was the only person on board and was killed instantly. Anh Tho Nguyen was born in Vietnam and moved to the U.S. at age 12. She earned a bachelor's in mathematics in 2013 and a master's in aeronautics and astronautics from Purdue University in 2015. In 2018, she founded Asian Women in Aerospace and Aviation, AWA, to empower young Asian women pursuing careers in aviation and STEM. In 2020, she opened the Dragonflight Training Academy in Florida. There she taught aspiring pilots, many of them refugees like her, how to fly. "She was a trailblazer," said one of her students. "She showed us it can be done. You can come from nothing and become something." In 2024, she became the 10th woman ever to fly solo around the world. Remarkable feat she hoped to replicate while inspiring others. But on July 30th, 2025, during a routine refueling stop in Indiana, the 41-year-old pilot died when her single-engine propeller plane went down behind a convenience store. Frank Williams witnessed the crash while pumping gas. He told the Daily Mail, quote, "It was eerily silent. There was no explosion, no fire. I saw smoke and smelled fuel. There was no way anyone could have survived that." The Federal Aviation Administration and National Transportation Safety Board are leading the investigation into the cause of the crash. Though her life was cut short, Anh Tho Nguyen's legacy lives on through the hundreds of lives she uplifted, quite literally, as an instructor and mentor. Her organization, Asian Women in Aerospace and Aviation, posted this: "We are heartbroken. Anh Tho was an inspiring pilot, instructor, and advocate. She lived with boldness, curiosity, and drive. She came from humble beginnings in Vietnam to become a beacon of hope. Thank you, Anh Tho Nguyen, for showing us all that no matter where we start, we can reach for the clouds." In the heart of Vietnam's bustling Ho Chi Minh City, a revolutionary proposal is making waves. Could this be the end of the illegal Airbnb era in HCM? Now we'll delve into a groundbreaking pilot program proposed by the Ho Chi Minh City Department of Construction that could legalize Airbnb-style short-term rentals in apartment buildings. So, what's the proposal? On July 27, 2025, the Ho Chi Minh City Department of Construction proposed a 12-month pilot program beginning September 1, 2025, to allow short-term rentals in eligible apartment buildings under strict conditions. This comes amid a legal gray area. Vietnam's housing law neither bans nor clearly allows these kinds of stays in residential apartments. As a result, issues around public security, management, and tax enforcement remain unresolved. Only apartments and buildings meeting design and infrastructure standards like fire safety, elevators, and sanitation can qualify. Owners must obtain approval from building residents, agree to increased management fees, and register rental activity with local authorities. Management boards and service providers, hosts must also comply with tourism, residency, taxation, insurance, and public order regulations and report guest information. Non-compliance could lead to penalties or removal from the pilot. Nguyen Thurong Hoi, representing local short-term rental hosts, supports the initiative. She argues that clearer rules will professionalize the sector and protect both hosts and residents. She also suggests that existing active hosts be grandfathered in without needing new condo-wide votes. Legal experts and industry professionals emphasize the pilot as a first step toward clearer licensing. Taxation, safety standards, and structured cooperation with platforms like Airbnb, Agoda, and Booking.com. Why now? Ho Chi Minh City hosts around 13,000 Airbnb listings, mainly in apartment buildings, generating about 2 trillion VND, about 77 million United States dollars annually. Yet under Decision 26, 2025, residents-only rules currently prohibit these rentals. This creates tension between homeowners relying on rental income and long-term residents concerned about security and quality of life. The pilot aims to balance tourism growth and shared economy benefits with legal clarity, safety, and community rights. Internationally, regulatory frameworks range from limits on allowed rental days in Paris, 90 days per year, to outright bans in Singapore, under 3-month stays. In Vietnam, regulators intend to integrate data sharing systems, assign registration codes to each unit, and encourage foreign platforms to establish local representatives. After the pilot ends in August 2026, the city may recommend national legal reforms, updating the law on housing and tourism to formally incorporate shared economy models. This proposed pilot isn't about opening the floodgates, it's about managing the boom. Done well, it could set a model for shared economy accommodation in Vietnam and beyond. If you enjoyed this report, please like, subscribe, and share. Let us know in the comments if you support or oppose this pilot program. July has seen media channels light up with new regulations across a number of sectors in Vietnam. For expats, the news arrived that there was now going to be a new platform named VNEID, available to foreigners living in Vietnam. With this news came much confusion, so I decided to test the water by being one of the first to register in Ho Chi Minh City. To summarize my experience, it was a drawn-out set of frustrations that I should have been better prepared for. In that, the raw process isn't overly complicated, but the delivery seems to get many foreigners hot under the collar. It's mostly because of a lack of understanding. VNEID is not a new system. It has been in place for Vietnamese citizens since September 2021, with the early iterations focused on assisting the Vietnamese during the COVID-19 pandemic. It has since progressed to a bit of a coverall for the community, with the essential information being held to assist with functions including health insurance, taxes, travel, and government services. Now that my registration is complete and I am awaiting my access information to arrive via email in around 1 week, here's the detailed process and what you need in order to ICEly register for the VNEID system as an expat in Vietnam. Firstly, you will need to allow 2 days to attend the immigration office on Nguyen Thi Minh Khai Street in Duan Ho, a ward in Ho Chi Minh City, to correctly complete the application. Further, there are only 3 essential items you need to supply in order to obtain the access registration. Logically, your home country passport and current TRC, temporary resident card, are essential. The other essential item is a phone number. This can catch a few people unaware. Last year, the government imposed strict regulations on the registering of phone numbers in a prescribed manner. If any part of the phone number is not registered correctly, they will not allow you to proceed with the registration. At the immigration office, Day 1, with the right phone information, passport and TRC, on the first visit you speak to the person at the desk inside the front door. He will give you a slip of paper with a number on it and direct you to the desk inside the first internal doors about 15 meters inside the building. This is the payment desk. Here you pay 30,000 Vietnamese dongs to the lady, and she will hand you a receipt to show you have paid. She then tells you to go back to the front waiting room to get your photo taken. At the back of the main waiting room, there are 2 cameras set up for taking ID photos. Only the right side is for foreigners. Simply take your TRC passport and the receipt to this man. He will quickly look at it and open a file for you. Then he will ask you to sit and take a photo. This process only takes a minute, and your requirements for Day 1 are all complete. He will tell you to come back tomorrow to finish the application. Please remember to keep the receipt of payment and the slip of paper with the number on it. Preparation for Day 2. At home, you need to locate Form TK01 online and download it. This part was challenging for me, because the form I got was all in Vietnamese, so the assistance of a Vietnamese speaker or a suitable translation app was needed to understand and complete the form. I later found out that they have it in both Vietnamese and English. This form needs to be printed and taken with you on Day 2. You also need to write your details on the small slip of paper with the number on it that was given to you at the entry on your first visit. Day 2. Final registration. Arriving on day 2 of the registration is a little more challenging. There is a limit on the number of people for each session in the morning or afternoon. As I did for the morning session, I arrived at 7:30 a.m. and received ticket number 63, with a limit of 100 or 150. Noted that people were being turned away from the office by 9 a.m. The afternoon session begins at 1 p.m. and follows a similar format with a limited number of customers, and people coming after the limit is reached are turned away and asked to come the next day. The secret is to get there early. On day 2, go a little further past the payment desk to a standalone window on your left. Show your TRC and slip of paper from day 1, and you will receive a ticket with a number. Go to the rear of the office where there is a waiting area and wait until your number is called. For me, it was about 2.5 hours. Then it is a matter of following the direction of the officer to record your information and take your fingerprints. While all this sounds rather easy, it is filled with confusion and a bit of frustration for many foreigners. It is a good idea to employ a Vietnamese friend or a loved one to help navigate the process. It just makes it a little easier and problems are solved much quicker, as was my phone registration issue. So after 2 days, around 8 hours of my time, a visit to the phone shop, and about 50,000 Vietnamese dongs in travel and parking costs, I am now eagerly awaiting the email with my login details. Then I will be able to look at the app in detail and work out what benefits there are for us expats living in Vietnam. It's a story that stunned the world, and decades later, the questions still linger. What really happened that night? How could a global icon, admired by millions, be gone so suddenly and so young? On July 20th, 1973, at around 5 p.m., a legendary martial arts expert knocked on the door of a Hong Kong actress's house. His name was Bruce Lee, the superstar, and hers was Betty Ting Pei, a well-known actress in their circle. They welcomed each other warmly because they were lovers. But Bruce wasn't just a lover. He was a man admired by millions, so when he was a guest in her living room, she felt honored. But she also knew that he had a big headache. Bruce complained about it. So Betty gave him a painkiller, and he decided to lie down to rest before they had dinner plans with producer Raymond Chow and some mutual friends. At around 9:45 p.m., Raymond called to check up on them. Betty tried to get Bruce to talk. He didn't respond. He was still sleeping. She tried to wake him up, but he didn't seem to be waking up. She immediately called Raymond, and he rushed over. Still, neither of them could wake up the superstar. Only then did they call her personal doctor. After that, an ambulance came, and Bruce Lee was taken to hospital. At around 10:30 p.m., doctors pronounced him dead. He was only 33. The official cause of death was cerebral edema, brain swelling, possibly triggered by an allergic reaction to a common painkiller. But in the hours leading up to his death, why didn't anyone call for help? Why did they wait so long? That was the question everyone had, and the answer was Betty. People accused her of killing Bruce. They said she had given him poison or an aphrodisiac. They said she killed him on purpose. She was a liar. She was a cheat. For the record, this is what Betty Ting said about all of the accusations. I have never heard of such drugs, and certainly would not dare to give any medicine to Mr. Lee, in my opinion. The reason why people suspected me was only because I was the only person in the house that night. Later, Bruce's brother said that he, too, had taken the same medicine, and so had many other people. None of them had a bad reaction, except Bruce. So the case was closed. There was no foul play. But the next day, headlines still screamed about how the superstar had died. And that haunted Betty. She was already traumatized by the death of the man she loved. She survived the storm of speculation and is still walking with purpose, faith, and memory. And yet, decades later, the questions haven't stopped. What really happened to Bruce Lee that night? Was it simply a tragic, allergic reaction to a common painkiller? Or was there something more? Some believe it was the heat of a sweltering Hong Kong summer, paired with Lee's decision to have his sweat glands removed, may have pushed his body beyond the edge. Others point to the Equagesic tablet Betty Ting Pei gave him. Was it the medication that caused fatal swelling in the brain? Was that just the trigger for something deeper, something already brewing? Then there are the rumors that never quite faded. Whispers of cannabis, an aphrodisiac, even a mafia hit orchestrated by the triads. Some say Bruce angered powerful people. Others claim he was cursed, for revealing ancient martial arts secrets to the West. And after the eerie death of his son, Brandon Lee, on a movie set 2 decades later, that idea of a curse for some began to feel less like fiction. He was fast, powerful, and seemed untouchable. But Bruce Lee's final hours remained clouded in mystery, as if the legend couldn't leave without leaving behind a legend of his own. What do you believe really happened? Let us know in the comments. In a rematch of last year's final, Vietnam beat Indonesia 1-0 to win the ASEAN U23 Championship for the 3rd straight time on Sunday night. Result means Vietnam retains the title it won on home soil in 2022 when it defeated Indonesia 2-0. Before a crowd of over 60,000 at the Gelora Bung Karno Stadium in Jakarta, the hosts started brightly and enjoyed plenty of possession in the opening exchanges. They created some dangerous opportunities from throw-ins and set pieces. But Vietnam's goalkeeper, Tran Trung Kien, was equal to everything Indonesia threw at him. And the visitors almost took the lead in the 25th minute. But for a brilliant reflex save from Mohamed Ardiancia, who parried Nguyen Van Trong's header onto the post. At the other end, Khadik Arel had a great chance to put Indonesia ahead in the 30th minute. But his powerful header from a corner kick was brilliantly saved by Tran, and he was again denied by the crossbar shortly after. Indonesia's frustration grew, and so did their desperation. Captain Khadik Arel received the second booking of the game in the 14th minute after pulling Kong Phuong's shirt to prevent a forward attack. Earlier, Vietnam's Don Van Hao had a yellow card for a foul on Sutin Zeko and Indonesian players. Rayan Hannan and another were also cautioned by referee Takasaki Koji. Some of those decisions were made after consulting the VAR room. Indonesia continued to press in the first half and had more chances to score, but they were unable to break down Vietnam's disciplined defense. And they were made to pay the price just before halftime. From a corner, the ball flicked off to players' heads before falling to Nguyen Kong Phuong, who unleashed a breathtaking volley that beat keeper Mohamed Ardiancia and sent the Vietnamese bench into wild celebrations. After the break, Indonesia came out firing and almost equalized in the 54th minute. But substitute Hockey Caracas' shot was blocked by a defender on the goal line. Coach Kim Sung-sik introduced fresh legs with substitutes, Victor La and Lavan Thuyen, to bolster Vietnam's counterattacks. Despite soaking up a lot of pressure, Vietnam still looked dangerous on the break and almost extended their lead in the 78th minute. But striker Nguyen Van Tone's effort was saved by Adrian Sia. The match became increasingly heated after a foul by Vo An Quan in the 84th minute. The midfielder received a yellow card for the challenge and was involved in an altercation with the Indonesian players. In the dying embers of the match, an assistant coach charged onto the field and was shown a red card. Vietnam's coach Kim Song-sik also saw yellow for protesting extended stoppage time, and goalkeeper Trung Kien was booked for time wasting as Indonesia pushed for an equalizer. But the visitors held on to seal the victory. The trophy is a testament to Vietnam's dominance in Southeast Asian football, and they will be looking to make it for titles in a row when the tournament returns next year.
Let us know your thoughts in the comments. We want to hear from you. I'm Peter, and from all of us here at Vietnam News, thank you for watching. Stay informed, stay safe, and we'll see you in the next report.